And now we are recording on this. Hello, everybody. We are here in a beautiful park, in a beautiful day in New York City, and I am here with my good friend.
Becca.
It's Becca. I love Becca.
Hi.
And she is so fucking hot. Here's the thing. She is so gorgeous. Look, there's a piece of leaf in the way. People can't see her. She is so fucking pretty. And I don't know if you know this. She is
Thank you.
beautiful. No, she's single, so we're gonna talk about it because that doesn't make any fucking sense, right? In New York City, that doesn't make any sense.
In New York City, actually, I feel like it makes a lot of sense. There are so many hot women here that are, unfortunately, to no fault of their own, very single.
And that's a take that we're gonna talk about today. Okay, so we're gonna start with, what is your name, my love?
Becca,
And what is your age?
30,
And what is your relationship status?
single,
And what neighborhood are you in?
Ridgewood.
Boom, we love Ridgewood. And what is your biggest red flag?
Okay. I think it could be that maybe I just get the ick super quickly, and so I don't give people a chance to uh, show me something that doesn't give me the ick. I don't know.
So, okay, let's talk about that. What are some things recently that have given you the ick as a beautiful girl living in Brooklyn, New York?
Um, I could go. Yeah, bad oral hygiene because
That's big for everyone.
Weirdly, I feel like I get the ick based on like men's shoes that they choose to wear. Like if I see a guy wearing like open-toed shoes, sometimes there are only a couple scenarios I think that can allow for that. Like one, the beach, that's fine. But walking around in the city, I'm sorry, keep those puppies closed in. um, and then I don't know. I feel like there's like a lot of personality icks. If someone can't um, make me laugh, because I feel like I laugh pretty easily, but if someone has no ability or they just like don't have a sense of humor, I'm like, okay. Or I don't know if a guy. Hmm, if men can't be honest about what it is that they want, because literally I think it's so easy to, especially this day and age, I think that there are so many options that you don't have to lie about what it is that you're looking for. If you aren't looking for a girlfriend or a partner or even like a hookup, you can just be honest, say that. But I feel like a lot of men like to, like, I guess kind of maybe not lie, but definitely like disguise themselves as like something that they're not.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, especially if you're, right from the jump. So, would you say a lot of people in New York City tend to have ulterior motives? Is that something?
Um, I guess I feel like, I feel like a lot of men have the ulterior motive of like, I need to get laid, and this girl might be my ticket to doing that.
Sex aside, so in the dating world, having sex, how early you have sex or how good the sex was, that could determine whether or not a relationship moves forward.
Yeah.
So, do you have any advice or tips on when to introduce a sexual element into a new relationship?
I guess I would kind of let the woman take the lead on that. I don't know. I think it's complicated because I think I've hooked up with someone the first night that we met, and then we went on to date for like many a while. But and then also there's other people that I've taken a little bit of time and then we dated. So I don't know if there's like a perfect recipe for how to do it, but um I don't know, just like maybe being respectful of like that. Yeah, to you, this might be like one thing, but then to the other person it might be something different. So open, honest communication, I think, will get you to the right spot.
Matching objectives,
Yeah.
some things that like automatically from the get-go you guys know about each other. If you want to have kids one day and the person that you're dating doesn't want to have kids one day, maybe don't date.
I mean, no, I wasn't even thinking that. I'm just thinking more so along the lines of like, oh, so like you meet someone, maybe you're hitting it off, but maybe there's like a couple things that they're saying that like hit you in a way that you're like, okay, maybe we're not looking for the same thing. And I think there's nothing wrong with like being upfront about that and just being like, okay, like this is what I'm looking for. Even if it's like the first night, I think a lot of people are too afraid of like scaring someone away. But if being upfront and honest about how you feel and what you're looking for is gonna scare that person away, then good, goodbye. Like,
That's
I
how
don't
I
need you to
feel.
be around anymore. If you're gonna like, if me telling you what I'm looking for is gonna scare you, then I hope that you're scared.
That is totally fair, because it's like if you you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
someone who is going to jive with you and understand you and really be in your corner is going to be able to like handle first date questions at a bare minimum.
I would say so. I just think if you can tell pretty, I have always had the belief that someone knows within the first like couple hours and maybe even like days of meeting you if you're a person that they would be interested in dating. I think it happens pretty quickly, but I think people um like especially women, I think we tend to like hold on to things a lot longer versus like you'll meet a guy and you can tell almost immediately, okay, like this guy is clearly not, they're not putting out, because when someone's interested in you, I think it's like you can tell, like they're texting you back, they're trying to plan to see you, they're like taking the initiative. But I think that people might be seeing those things and like seeing them not happen, and but like making excuses for a person of being like, oh, they're busy, and like, and hey, you know what? We're all busy. This is New York. Everyone here is busy. If you're not busy, then like would love to know what you do with your life. But everyone here is busy. Everyone here has like plenty of stuff going on. So you make time for things that you want to make time for. And if that person's not making time for you, then that's the message that they're not interested.
Yeah. Okay. On that, I literally like being a friend is a full-time job in New York City. Like just answering back my text messages and answering phone calls and being like, oh, your day off is in the middle of the week, so like we gotta hang out. You know what I mean? Like that's just being a friend's a full-time job. Oh my God, I barely have a job and I'm busy all the time. Oh my God.
It's true. I mean, I think that like most people here, I don't know. I feel like also I would want someone that's busy. I want you to be active and like have things going on because I have plenty of things going on. So if you tell me that like on your days off you just sit at home and don't do anything, then like
Why you live in New York?
Yeah, you could go live somewhere else. But in this city, there's like tons of stuff to do. Now it's warm out. There's like get a hobby, go, get some friends. Like, I don't know. I feel like this city is busy. So, but I'll make time for the right person.
I feel like that's the key to all relationships, right? Is like, if you want a relationship and you don't have one, like get busy where people are, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most part, I have like tons of hobbies and have like, I feel like a pretty large friend group and things. However,
Still single, how?
Still single.
Literally how?
Well, I think I'm picky. I think I'm not really willing to settle for a person that I either find unattractive or a person that I just don't really feel like is going to be on my level of like, and that doesn't mean like I think I'm better than people. I think it just means that like, oh, like I think I'm looking for a certain level of commitment and they're not, or like I think that I'm headed in a certain direction and they're headed in a different direction.
Yeah, like I feel the same way. Like I need someone who's on my level being E&M, polyamory, et cetera, et cetera. Like I would never want to date someone who's not on that level because I don't want to make someone uncomfortable. I mean, unless they're willing to push their boundaries, but like it's not only in an attraction.
Yeah, exactly. I think it like is a lot of things. And
level of maturity, bro. What is it about dating younger than you?
Dude, I'm sorry, but like I don't know. I do for men, I feel like even when they're in their 30s, it's like they are And I guess maybe that's the problem, is that I do feel like a lot of men in the city are looking for someone who's like significantly younger than them. So being 30 years old, I guess that like puts me at a little bit of a disadvantage for dating, because I think that quite often I'll meet couples where it's like the guy's like 32 and the girl's like 25, and I'm like, right. Okay. So, which like when I was 25, I was definitely not dating anyone that was 32, but I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I guess like maybe they're looking for someone super low commitment who has no plans of like marriage or children in their near future, and maybe that's what they want.
Or maybe boys weigh in on this. Honestly, we were going to talk to the boys, but there were no boys out today. Boys weigh in on this. Do you date younger women because you are ready to have a baby and you have like preconceived notions about fertility and age? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we do have to undo a lot of those because what is it? Not Anne Hathaway. She's not old enough. But Sandra Bullock had a kid at like 40, 52 or something.
I mean, plenty of people have children when they're much older these days.
No,
I think
exactly.
it used to be that you would have kids when you were like 14, like
Yeah.
that was, and then it was like 20, and now
because
it's,
you died at 30, but now
yeah, and
it's-
now it's much later. Like you could have kids when you're in your 40s.
Yeah. So men, is it like if you are in your 30s and you're dating someone 25 or under, is it because you're trying to put a baby in her and you just don't understand, or do you just not understand biology? We know that you don't fully understand female anatomy, so like that's not the problem.
That's a given.
But the question is like, or is it the opposite? Is it because everyone in our 30s like wants a relationship and wants something real, and you're gonna Peter Pan forever? Because my fiance, my partner says that the problem with men in New York is that they're just trying to do quote unquote Peter Pan, and they're just trying to stay young.
Yeah, and that's what I think the same thing. I think that the men in this town, even after, I mean, literally, when I have friends tell me that they're like seeing someone who's in their 40s, I'm sorry, so that would be like at least 15, maybe like 13, at least 10 years older than you, and that man still is like not really knowing what he wants. I'm sorry, what?
Your life is half over. What are you waiting for?
Like, what are you doing?
Indecision can only get you so far.
And at that point, I mean, maybe that's like, and yeah, I don't know if that's the norm, but I definitely have several friends that I'm like, oh, 40, right? Oh, and you're still, trying to figure it out. Okay.
I feel like
It's crazy.
I was reading something the other day about how your 20s are for, like a little bit of exploration, whatever, and then your 30s are for a little bit of like taking things more serious, and then your 40s like, honey, that's when you're supposed to have the fruits of your labor. Like, what are we looking for here?
I mean, please, I hope that I'm not single when I'm 40. If I am, then I guess that is the way it is. But
my theory is that more people are going to like buy houses with their friends. Like I would buy a mansion with my sisters and like my best friend and just start like a little homestead.
And I guess that's like, well, I mean, truly, that's probably the only way we're going to be able to afford to do that, because we all know what the state of the economy is in right now, and we can only get worse.
Are you trying to stay in New York? Okay, because here's something you and I kind of differentiate on this opinion. I personally feel like where I came from last, Atlanta, like there were more people who were willing and ready to have long-term relationships. Like there were definitely people who were still like Peter Panning, like didn't want to grow up, but there were also people that were like getting married and buying houses and like starting families and stuff. And like my fiance is a comedian, and there's a running joke about comedians after they hit the 5-year mark, if they end up like if they have a girlfriend or something, like they drop off, they have kids, they show up to a couple of open mics, but like doing the end game of a nuclear family in Georgia at least was more common. I feel like in New York a lot of my friends are single.
Well, I think the problem that people will run into here is that it's that element of like the grass is greener. And I think you'll find that mostly with men, is that they think that like, oh, this girl isn't checking like every single one of my boxes, or like, oh, this girl like isn't my exact like dream woman, that I'll just keep looking. Like, I'll just, like, then clearly there must be someone out there who's better than this. Or even when they get into a relationship with someone, it's like they're
Shiny object syndrome.
yeah, shiny object syndrome, where they're like, you could be really happy with your current partner, but all of a sudden you're like,
the hottest girl you've ever seen in your life just walks down the street and you're like, well, now I want to go talk to her.
Yeah, but in reality, she might not want to talk to you.
Well, and that's so funny because, like, honestly, like, me and Tyler talk about that sometimes, how, like, I think maybe if we moved here when we were a little bit younger, I think maybe shiny object syndrome would have had a negative effect on our relationship, because we are open and we are poly, so it's pretty easy for us to get past these feelings, like, because the beginning of a relationship is the most fun. Like, objectively, first kiss butterflies, like, I could have my first kiss every single day for the rest of my life and it would be the best day of my life. Like, first kisses are amazing. If you have the, like, you know, the excitement, the chemistry, and, like, yeah, exactly. So it's like of course the attention is going to be divided for us, like, at the beginning, but because, well, no, I mean, like, I just think there's so many beautiful people. Every single day I'm walking to a coffee shop and I'm like, there's some hot punk bitch and she just like she's like untouchable. Like, I could never even approach her. She's like so pretty. And that's how people feel about you, by the way. You're so intimidating. I give off a very friendly vibe. I don't know if you knew that about me, but and you're just like, why don't people ask me out? And it's like, because you look like you're gonna hurt them.
I do not look like I'm gonna hurt. Okay, tattoos aside. Piercings aside.
Well, you look adorable. Really, you look like a Disney Channel star. So you don't look like you would hurt people.
I feel pretty approachable to a certain extent. I don't have any problem approaching people, though. I will, if I see an attractive man on the street that I feel like is my type and he looks alone, I will approach him. But approaching men in groups is not my strong suit. But if they're by themselves sitting at a coffee shop or something, I will approach. I can ask a man for his number.
That's so funny. I feel like it's because I have, like, unearned confidence, simply due to the fact that my face card declines a lot. So
I will say though, usually when I ask for their number, it doesn't end up being a date. Like, the men don't they don't follow up with me, and I'm like, right, okay. I don't know. I like, oh, if you're interested, you should text me, and then they ghost me afterwards. Like, they'll text me and then I'll never hear anything else, and I'm like, okay, cool.
That's so funny because I feel like that happens a lot in New York, where it's just like you get someone's number, you're excited, but it's almost like that's not a fast enough conversion window for how quickly things happen in New York City. It's almost like if you meet someone you're attracted to, you got to be like, well, what are you doing right now for the next 20 minutes?
I guess I've never tried that.
Maybe you should try that next time, because that's the thing. Like, that, what I think about with that bartender and how we had so much, but, like, we were texting so immediately back and forth until we figured out what borough we lived in,
and then it was like, oh, I'm never gonna see you.
Yeah, and then I'm actually never gonna see you. But for that one moment when I got her number, we were in the same place at the same time. Like, I wish I stayed at that bar until after it closed. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And now that you can't remember where it is.
I don't even know which bar it is. I can't even show up at her work. It's so sad. But it's like, I think that literally, like, there's so many things happening in New York all the time that, like, you might have to even shorten it to, like, hey, hey, you're sitting at this cafe drinking coffee. Can I join you on our first date right now?
Oh my God, that would be crazy.
Oh, I see you're sitting alone. I'm going to join you for a cafe.
Are you single?
Are you single? Can I sit with you right now? Or when are you leaving this spot? Not for a while? Cool. Do you want to ask questions about me? Oh, no. That was
I was like, what?
No. That was me pretending to be you asking a guy. That you said, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So. What? Okay. Your red flag is that you're a little picky.
Yeah. I also think that my red flag might be my type.
What's your perfect type? Who's your type? So that anyone watching this who's interested in moving to New York simply to win your heart, they know that their affections will be reciprocated. What is your type, my love?
Long hair, curly, preferably.
How long
like I like at least shoulder length.
Oh,
it can be longer than that.
So far, me.
Yeah, right. A little longer than you.
Okay.
And tattoos are a plus, but not a must. A nose piercing. I love nose piercing, but not any other piercings. Sorry, men with gauges and things. That's not really my thing. And like good oral hygiene, and if you play an instrument or skateboard, that's also, or both. That's, or ride a motorcycle.
Your type is a red flag, actually. Yeah.
I know it's bad. Yeah.
I rode I ride a motorcycle. I play the ukulele.
Right.
I have a nose piercing, and I have tattoos.
You're just missing a penis, and
Ah, shucks. Okay, so more aura wise, alti, more like folk, indie.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm not super punk, so I think indie. I mean, I feel like to say hipster would be like cringy, but because I don't want someone that's wearing like skinny jeans. I think that's gross. You have to have a good sense of style too. Like, know how to dress yourself. Come on, like. Look in the mirror before you leave the house and ask yourself if this is a good outfit, and if it's not, change.
Minimum style requirement, yes. Minimum age requirement.
I think I would like them to be at least 27 to like 37, I guess. Like, I could go like older. I prefer 37 feels a little too old for me though, but I don't know. 35, like, yeah.
So I have a theory. Okay. So 27 to 35 sounds excellent. Indie, not so alty, maybe a little bit more browns than blacks in their wardrobe. Sound about right?
Yeah, I guess. Or like, I like color. Like,
Color too,
don't
yeah.
be weird about it. Like, have color. Don't just wear brown and black and white. Like,
No,
yeah.
more of a metaphor, more of a conceptual or a metaphor. But
flannels. I like flannels.
Chillax flannels, everybody.
I like if I can steal your flannel.
That's so cute. Oh my god, you can steal my flannel. I'm sorry. I'll stop flirting with you. But let's see. So that's your type. Okay, so I have a theory personally that relationships in general, it's a matter of trauma compatibility. Because I think that the way that people communicate when they're angry is still based in, deeply rooted in childhood trauma. So my question to you is, what is your baggage?
I mean, I think like people could describe me as like an anxious attachment style. However, I will note I am in therapy and I've been doing it for a while now. So I do feel like, I was reading this article the other day about people kind of like myself who are incredibly aware of my childhood wounds, and I'm like super open and honest about them and in the process of healing them, but like sometimes just because I know about them doesn't mean that they don't affect me.
Yeah.
I mean, baggage, I don't know. I've got a dead dad. Is that baggage? That's like childhood trauma. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty.
So would you say you need like a lot of assurance in relationships?
I think I need a normal amount of assurance. I actually am like pretty good solo. I don't necessarily need like would prefer not constant communication. I don't need you to be talking to me all day every day because I'm busy. Like, I whenever I'm at work, like I'm not on my phone all the time. Sometimes I am on my phone, but it's not like I don't feel the need to be. In fact, would I think get the ick if someone was like constantly texting me. Like, I would like a good little bit of back and forth, especially once I'm dating a person, we can text about like day-to-day things, but if I'm not dating you, we don't need to be texting all the time. The texting needs to be when you're planning a date with me, and like we could text a little bit back and forth like in between dates, but like I'm not going to be blowing up your phone, you shouldn't be blowing up mine if we're not in a relationship. If we're in a relationship, I think like there naturally occurs like a little bit of back and forth on the day-to-days when you're not seeing each other, and then like a FaceTime or a call at night if you're not going to see them, or in between if you're like having a rough day, like that's always nice too.
So what happens when you get upset? How do you like to communicate when you're angry?
I feel like at first I like to take a little bit of space and I think about my approach. Because I don't ever want to say the wrong thing. And I think, it's not saying like take space as in like leave or like I think there is such thing as too much space. Like if I need like a little bit of time, what I like to do is be like, okay, this is when we're gonna talk about this again. Like maybe things are getting heated and we need to like step away from the conversation for a minute, but like this we will be talking about this and it will be within X amount of time. Like, pretty much just like setting it up because otherwise you don't want to sweep things under the rug. You don't want to pretend like your feelings weren't hurt by something. So, I think communication is I'm a very good communicator when it comes to talking about how I feel and how someone else made me feel.
Hell yeah. She's affluent, she's beautiful, she's talented, she's brilliant, she's emotionally intelligent, and she's single, and she lives in Ridgewood.
Yeah, that's where I live.
So, if you're thinking about moving to NYC, there's some gorgeous ladies waiting for you to join.
And there's not just me, there's so many beautiful women that live in this city. So whatever floats your boat.
Every day I see the hottest girl I've ever seen in my whole life.
Same. If I could be into women.
How much easier if
my life would be, I would be so happy here.
you're telling me